In 1692, Salem, Massachusetts was governed by a legal and religious system in which civil authority and spiritual belief were deeply intertwined. The courts operated under the assumption that witchcraft was real and posed a direct threat to the community. Those accused of witchcraft were typically examined before local magistrates. These officials were not judges in the modern sense, but colonial authorities responsible for questioning suspects and determining whether charges should even be pressed. The accusations were often brought forward by a small group of young girls and women who claimed to experience fits, vision, and physical torment. In court, these individuals were treated as victims rather than witnesses. Their reactions during examinations were considered proof of supernatural harm. Sarah Good was one of the first accused. She was a poor homeless woman who relied on charity and was already viewed with suspicion by her neighbors. Once accused, she was brought before the magistrates to be examined, not to determine innocence, but to extract confession or confirmation of guilt.
Sarah Good, what evil spirit have you familiarity with?
None.
Have you made no contract with the devil?
No.
Why do you hurt these children?
I do not hurt them, I scorn it.
Who do you employ then to do it?
No creature, I'm falsely accused.
Why did you go away muttering from Mr. Paris's house?
I did not mutter, but I thanked him for what he gave my
Have you made
child.
no contract with the devil?
No.
Sarah Good, do you not see now what you have done? Why do you not tell us the truth? Why do you thus torment these poor children?
Do not torment them.
Who do you employ then?
I employ nobody, I scorn it.
How came they thus tormented?
What do I know? You bring others here and now you charge me with it.
Why, who was it?
I do not know, but it was some you brought to the meeting house with you.
We brought you into the meeting house.
But you brought in 2 more.
Who was it then that tormented these children?
It was Osborne.
What is it that you say when you go muttering away from Pearson's houses?
If I must tell, I will.
Do tell us then.
There's the commandments. I say my commandments, I
What
hope.
commandment is it?
Is a psalm.
What psalm? Who do you serve?
I serve God.
During the trials, people often accused of witchcraft were treated harshly and often unjustly. Once accused, they were arrested and jailed, sometimes for months in poor and overcrowded conditions. The courts relied heavily on spectral evidence, or claims that a person's spear had harmed someone, which couldn't even be permitted to begin with. Those who confessed were usually spared execution or remained imprisoned. All those who maintained their innocence often faced trial and punishment. Ultimately, 19 people were killed. One man was even pressed to death. Almost died in jail. As the number of accused increased, the consequences of resisting the court became even more severe. Giles Corey, a farmer in his 80s, was accused after previous disputes with neighbors and his wife's own accusation. Unlike others, Corey refused to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. Under English law at the time, this prevented the court from proceeding the trial. His refusal was a deliberate act of resistance. Colonial authorities ordered Corey to be pressed with heavy stones to force him into pleading. This punishment was actually legal under the system, though rarely used. Corey's death was the result of this coercive procedure, not a formal conviction. By the fall of 1692, the scope of the accusations had widened. Ministers, merchants, and respected church members were now under suspicion. The legitimacy of the court itself began to be questioned. Governor William Phips was the highest civil authority in the colony. He had established the Court of Oyer and Terminer specifically to handle the witchcraft cases. As criticism grew and accusations reached influential families, Phips intervened. He dissolved the court and halted the proceedings. A new court was formed that rejected spectral evidence, leading to acquittals and the release of many prisoners. Historians over the years have proposed several explanations for the behavior that was interpreted as witchcraft to begin with, which was extreme social stress, religious indoctrination, interpersonal conflict, and possibly even medical causes such as ergot poisoning, which can produce hallucinations and convulsions when ingested through the contaminated rye. Others can point to psychological factors, particularly in young people raised in an environment that emphasized sin, punishment, and fear of the supernatural. What the Salem witch trials ultimately reveal is not the presence of witchcraft, but the vulnerability of legal systems built on certainty rather than doubt. The accused were not defeated by evidence, but by a process that treated fear as proof and authority as infallible. Once that structure was in place, individual intent no longer mattered. Guilt was assumed, resistance was punished, and the truth became irrelevant. The trials ended only when the system lost the confidence of those who controlled it, leaving behind a reminder that justice does not require malice and only questioned belief.